guys, Preacher 357 out here on the range with a Charter Arms Bulldog, double action only. And of course, being a Bulldog, that means it's a 44 special. Now these are snub nose revolvers, been around a long time, though this is a new design. And I've wanted a Bulldog for a long time, but I really wanted the old blued model that looked a little bit different than this, had the wood grips on it. And of course, if you know anything about the Bulldog, it's famous, or I guess you could say infamous, because it's what the Son of Sam killer was using back in, I guess that was the 70s. And, you know, it's sort of its claim to fame, I guess you could say, though there have been a lot of people who've liked the Bulldog over the years. 44 Special is one of those rounds. It's not that common anymore. You don't find it in a lot of stores like you used to. Of course, I reload it. I hand load it. So I always have some. Of course, I like revolvers, so I love 44 Special and 44 Magnum. I especially love to shoot 44 Special out of 44 Magnum revolvers because it's such a light load for those larger revolvers. Doesn't have a lot of kick to it. And it's known as a really accurate cartridge, and that's always been the way it seemed to me as well. Just seems like you can shoot 44 Special out of a 44 mag revolver and it's just so accurate. Even more so than 38 out of a 357 for whatever reason. But out of a gun like this little snub nose, 44 Special has a little bit of a kick to it because it's a 240 grain projectile. And 240 grains is a pretty heavy bullet for a handgun. And your recoil is determined by your velocity, your acceleration, and the weight of the bullet. And so even though the 44 Special is nowhere near as hot around as 44 Magnum, the weight of the bullet kind of makes up for that in a small gun like this, and it gives it some kick. And I made a video about changing the grips out on this. This is a Hogue monogrip that I have on here now because the back of this, the back strap here, the grip frame here was not smooth. And it had some sharp spots on it, and it made it very uncomfortable to shoot with that open back strap. So I put these monogrips on there for that reason. And another thing that I noticed when I was shooting this gun was the trigger was very inconsistent. It would be fairly smooth one time, and then it would have catches in it, hitches in it. Other times you pulled it, and it was just hard to be very accurate with it. But when I changed the grips, I noticed that there was a screw right here under the grips that had gotten extremely loose. And when I tightened that up, it fixed the problem. Though I ratcheted it down all the way first and realized that was not correct because I couldn't even pull the trigger. But then I loosened it up enough, but kept it, you know, screwed in much more than what it was. And the trigger pull was much smoother, maybe a little heavier than it was, but much smoother. So I think that's improved the shooting of it. When I put it on paper just a little bit ago, looks like it's shooting a little bit low, but not bad. I have to take a little bit of a high hold with it. And these grips do make it a little more comfortable to shoot. But it still has a little bit of kick to it. It's not the kind of gun you want to give somebody who's brand new to shooting, or it's not a gun I'd give my wife who's very sensitive to recoil. Now I'll let her shoot, you know, 44 Special out of some of my larger revolvers, my Smith & Wesson 629 or my Blackhawk, my Ruger Blackhawk. She shot it out of that and it's fine, but out of this she would not like it one bit. And as I said, I'd wanted a Bulldog for a long time, and I really didn't want one of these new models. I wanted an old model, and they still make those, I believe, the classic model. But I was at the TFA auction back last month, and this was on the auction. And I said, well, it may not be exactly what I've been looking for, but it's for a good cause, so I thought I'd pick it up. Of course, I generally like to have hammers on my revolvers. I like to shoot single action sometimes. I like to mix it up. It just makes it more interesting for me. But the Bulldog has always been considered something of a carry gun. And so on a carry gun with a revolver, it's not bad to have it double action only. You know, that the J-frame Smith & Wessons, the little Centennial models, the 642, like my little Smitty, as I call him, that I've carried for years, is a double action only. And that makes sense in those cases. And, you know, if you're going to carry it for self-defense, you don't really necessarily want a hammer because it can snag. Now, usually that's not going to be the case. And sometimes I carry revolvers that have hammers on it, and other people do as well. So, but it's not a bad idea to have a double action only for self-defense. And so I'm assuming that's what this is for. But we're going to do just a little bit of shooting with it. Losing daylight very quickly, so I'm hopefully not going to talk too much and just do a little bit of shooting and try it out a little bit and see if I'm a little more impressed with it than I was previously. Now that I've got the screw tightened up a little bit and the trigger pull is a little smoother, and I've got this new grip on here. And so far, what little I've shot with it, it seems a little better. So before we get to shooting though, if you would check out the description, I got a link there for Weather Beard Supply Company. They got great beard care products. I use those. I've been using them for over a year now. I really like them. That's why I'm endorsing them. And you know, if you use the link that I've got there, you'll get a discount on it, and then I'll also get a little bit of money back in order to help me buy, you know, guns and ammo. So I'd appreciate that. If you want to support the channel and have a nice looking beard, there you go. Also, there's a link there for the GOA, the Gun Owners of America. You can get in the fight for our gun rights on the national level as well as the state level, because they work hand in hand with a lot of your state organizations, such as the Tennessee Firearms Association. I have a link there as well. And I'm a member of the TFA, a life member of both GOA and TFA. And I support them. They don't support me. I give them money, they don't give me anything. But those links are there just because I believe in what they do. And I'd encourage you, if you're a gun owner, or if you love guns like I do, to join up, especially if you live in the state of Tennessee, join up with the Tennessee Firearms Association, as we're fighting really hard for our rights here in Tennessee. And I've been posting some videos as well from the Tennessee Firearms Association YouTube account there. C. Richard Archie is the West Tennessee director of the Tennessee Firearms Association. He's been putting up some videos that I think are very informative, and a lot of people will need to look at those videos and get that information that he's sharing with you, because I don't think a lot of people understand exactly the way the laws are here in Tennessee, and they're not as good as most people think. So anyway, guys, check out those links and in the description, and let's get over here and do a little bit of shooting now. Now, these are just 5-round revolvers. This isn't a high capacity gun. You're not going to go out here and blast away for days and days and days. So if you're carrying this for self-defense, you got to make them count. Generally speaking, I think most people that want to carry a revolver tend to be people that like to shoot, and they're well aware of the limitations of it. We're going to start out here on the small plates here, the red plates. I don't know how well I'll be able to hit with it. I really struggled before. Maybe I'll do a little bit better now, but we'll see. All right. Yeah. Let's see where I hit that one at. The trigger's not terrible for a double action trigger. I felt a lot worse. It's not as good as my Smith & Wessons. It's not as good as my Colts. It really feels a little more like a Smith than it does a Colt, but it's nowhere near as good as a Smith. It's just not on that level, and it's a less expensive revolver, so you understand what you're getting with Charter Arms. It's a budget-friendly option, generally speaking. You know, I'd say it's competition with Taurus, you know. I'm going to be honest, I like Charter Arms because it's an American company, but I think Taurus may have the upper hand on them right now. Some other things I don't like, it's got some really sharp edges, and I mentioned that in the video about the grips as well. It's got some sharp edges that really rub against your finger, and it just makes it a little uncomfortable to shoot. But let's just do a little more. I'm going to see if I can hit this 6-incher. Now the 4 and the 3-inch, I don't know if I'll ever hit those rascals or not, but I'm going to see if I can pop him once. I may not. There we go. If I Finally got it. Let's go with the cowboy now. Now the cowboy is really a better test of a gun like this. You know, double action only, snub nose revolver. You know, you're not generally going to be shooting at something that's a 4-inch or 3-inch target at you know, 20 plus yards. I mean, why would you do that? Other than just to come out here and have fun like I do, because I can, you know. But that cowboy is basically a man-sized target at about 25 yards. So, I mean, if you can hit that at 25 yards, you're really okay with shooting this gun for self-defense and at self-defense distances. Because you can hit at 25 yards a man-sized target, you can definitely hit it at 7 yards, right? You know, 5 yards. Let's just shoot a little bit more over here. Hit Mr. Cowboy again, maybe. Yeah. Let's see if I can get the one out there at 35. Got him. Having a hard time seeing that front sight on that white target, though. There we go. There we go. Well, that was all she wrote, just 5 rounds. That's not too bad, guys. I'm losing light in a hurry, though. Tell you what, shooting at 100 yards with this gun is pretty stupid, just to be honest. But I'm going to do it because I'm pretty stupid. Because I'm just going to. I just can't help myself. And maybe I'll hit it, I don't know. I mean, 44 Special out of a snub-nose revolver has not got much velocity. I mean, you're going to look at it 850 feet per second, probably out of a 5-inch, 4 or 5-inch barrel at most. So out of a little snub like this, it's 700 something feet per second probably. And at 100 yards, you got a lot of drop. I'm already having to hold high because it's, you know, hitting a little low. So I'm going to be shooting up in the sky basically to lob one in at 100 yards. But we'll try. We'll see what we can do. Well, a little short. Oh, there we are, I hit it. I'll test my luck here. Don't want to press it. Let's just try this one at 80 and see if maybe I can hit it. If I can find the range. I think that was it, wasn't it? Oh, look at there. Well, that ain't too bad. I mean, a little bit of luck involved because, you know, I'm shooting so high I can't even see the target to try to hit it, but I hit one of each out there. I'm gonna load one more cylinder up. Don't know much else to say about the little gun. It's not a bad gun, it doesn't seem. The fit and finish is not on the level of Smith & Wesson or Colt or even Ruger. And to be honest, I think Taurus these days is making nicer finished revolvers than this as well. So, you know, it's rough around the edges. I mean, that's just what it is. And I don't know what to say about it. You know, it just, you get what you pay for, I guess. In some ways, you could say that it's a budget revolver, though they're not, you know, inexpensive either. And I paid a lot more for this at auction than I probably should have, but it's for a good cause. So we'll shoot one more time over here, just shoot the cowboy probably. And I think that's about all I know to tell you. So let's just put 5 more downrange. All right, Mr. Cowboy. Well, I missed. You know, it'll work. If you were wanting to carry one of these for self-defense, it'll work. People carried little 5-shot revolvers for many, many years. And it always worked in the past. Does that mean it's as good as a modern high-capacity gun? Well, you have to decide for yourself, as Paul Harrell said. You be the judge. Am I probably going to carry this? No. I mean, it's probably not likely I'll carry this gun. You know, unless it's just on a fluke, just to I think I'll carry that gun today just because. And I'm not going somewhere I think I'll ever need it, you know. Just hanging out in the woods or something maybe. But it's not likely to really get in the rotation much, but it's an interesting little gun. And I love 44 Special. I've always wanted one, so I've got a Bulldog now. I'm still wanting one of those classics, though, one of those blue ones with the wood grips on it. And I still intend on picking one of those up at some point. So anyway, guys, appreciate you coming out. God bless you. Y'all take care of yourselves, and we'll see you next time.